Hello and welcome to DairyPod. I'm Kristen Davis from Dairy Australia. Have you ever wondered about what it might take to be a dairy farm ambassador? In this episode, guest presenter Chloe Brown, a dairy farmer and host of the More Than Milk podcast, speaks to Gippsland dairy farmer Trish Hammond and Dairy Australia's marketing engagement lead Jess Phillips. They discuss the importance of having dairy farmers involved in promoting the industry and how the Ambassador program supports farmers to feel more confident to turn their passion into promotion.
Welcome to DairyPod. I'm Chloe Brown, your guest host for today's episode, and I'm a dairy farmer in Western Victoria, a proud advocate for the industry, and the host of More Than Milk, the podcast exploring, celebrating and sharing stories from the incredible people we have across our dairy industry. Today we are discussing one of my favourite topics, promoting dairy, specifically focused around the Dairy Farmer Ambassador program, which is all about supporting and encouraging farmers to get involved in the promotion of the industry. And I'm joined by two incredibly passionate people, Gippsland dairy farmer Trish Hammond, who has completed the program and is actively promoting dairy in her local community, as well as on a national level. She talks about her experiences, any advice she might have for others considering the program, and what she has noticed as a result of putting herself out there. We're also joined by Jess Phillips, the marketing engagement lead at Dairy Australia. And Jess will tell us more about the program, what it's hoping to achieve for the industry, and how you can get involved. A big welcome to you both. Before we jump into the conversation, Jess, do you want to go first and tell us your connection to dairy?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Chloe. I'm thrilled to have you hosting today. Thanks for making the time. I've worked at Dairy Australia since 2012. I started as a young graphic designer with no previous experience in the dairy industry. My family are from farms regionally in South Australia, but in other areas of ag. And I quickly fell in love with the Australian dairy industry. I've always had a love for the products, obviously, but it was really the people that I was meeting, passionate and interesting industry people and farmers. So I moved into various marketing and communications roles within DA before leaving for a brief stint and then realising I really wanted to be back here in the industry, so came back in 2019. It was a great time to come back into marketing team as the then new Dairy Matters platform was launching. And as well as that, the Australian Dairy Plan had just been finalised. The Australian Dairy Plan found a need to increase the effort in our marketing and promotion to build greater levels of trust and improve value of dairy with our consumers. We'd been wanting to run a similar program or a Farmer Ambassador program for quite some time, and the feedback that came out of the Australian Dairy Plan just really reinforced an appetite for that and a need for the program. So in 2020, we launched a pilot ambassador program, which ended up being online, which is not how we planned it, but COVID had other ideas for us. And Trish was a part of that program, the pilot program. And we now have over 75 farmers in our cohort and gearing up for another intake this year. So, yeah.
Wonderful. I love that, you almost have had just enough connection to be drawn back in, give you just a little glimpse of what it could be, and then you're never getting out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Trish, do you want to tell us your connection to dairy?
Yes, so my connection to dairying is marrying into it. That's how I describe it. So my husband has grown up on a dairy farm and worked on a dairy farm, but I met him while he was doing a diesel mechanicking apprenticeship. So he finished that and then went back to work with his parents on their share farm. And then I was nursing at the time, so I was a Division 1 registered nurse doing my own thing. And then we had one child, a baby, and I've stopped nursing and then suddenly found that I was doing some milkings here and there and then also doing a bit of work with my husband on the farm. And an opportunity came up for us to do our own share farm. So this was for the same landowner that my husband's parents were working for. So we grabbed that with two hands and ran with it. And we started that in 2010 when I was heavily pregnant. with another toddler, and just having to uphaul everything and then start our own business. So going from nursing into farming with no business experience or farming experience on my part, I had to learn everything from scratch. So that was 13 years ago now, and I haven't gone back to nursing since then. And I've just stayed in the industry working on farm, but now more in our business. I have a role more so with the administrative side of things, so as well as being a child Uber. That's how it feels. But so with the ages that our kids are at the moment, it makes it a bit harder for me to be on farm all of the time, but definitely still connected because my husband's doing a lot of the hands-on work and I'm doing a lot of the stuff that he can't. So we complement each other quite well, but I still can get out on farm when required with our awesome group of staff.
Wonderful. I almost married into a false sense of security, but have found a passion for it all these years later.
I didn't really know what I was in for, but anyway, I know now. And lots of things I've learned along the way, which is great.
Wonderful. Now, Jess, for those of anyone listening that doesn't know what the Dairy Ambassador Program is, do you want to give us a quick rundown about what it is and what it aims to do?
Sure. So in a nutshell, the Farm Ambassador Program aims to promote the dairy industry and continue to build trust and support for dairy and its products. And we hope to do this through the trusted voice of farmers, because we know that they are a trusted voice within the community, and being able to share those authentic stories kind of resonates with our consumers and builds that trust.
In 2020, you launched it. How many was in that first intake?
We had roughly around 15. And the program helps to provide farmers with the tools and support they need, or would like to help develop them speak authentically and confidently about the industry. So we're building this group of farmers to speak on behalf of the industry, whether that be on a smaller scale to their family and friends, or within their local communities at schools or councils, or on a bigger, more broader scale in the media or on social media, or through their involvement with the industry campaigns that we hold. So we'd like this group to rally and influence other farmers to do the same and feel confident to do that.
And do you hope that there's a diverse mix between, just the farmers, or just I just do the books, or, carting the kids around because that's the stage of life I'm in?
Exactly, yep. As we grow the group, we'd really like to have a well-rounded cross-section of and representation of the industry from, whether that's gender, experience on the farm, passion areas like environment, animal care, all of those kind of things. So, or child Ubers, as Trish says. So a whole cross-section so that we can tap into different areas and different stories based on what our campaigns and stories we're trying to tell are at the time.
Yeah, great. So Trish, you were in that first initial block of intake. Do you want to tell us why you thought it was important to undertake the Ambassador Program and sort of what you've learnt across the journey?
Oh, absolutely. I chose to be part of it. So I was invited to be part of this pilot program, and it was all online because at that point it was also COVID too. So I think that DA and Jess did a fantastic job in facilitating all of these workshops where we couldn't actually get to meet as a group or a cohort initially. And I chose to be part of it because I love to demystify and share what dairying really is about. I think a lot of people have false ideas and probably don't really understand what it is that farmers do. And I feel like if I can share my story and how I got into farming and share what I know, then it might also encourage other people to come along for the ride and think, hey, that girl used to be a nurse and then now she's dairy farming and not nursing. How did she manage to do that? And maybe this is a viable career option for me. And, juggling my family, like with our business, has been one of the best things that I've done, like with dairying, because I know having been nursed, or if I was nursing, I would not have the availability that I do have doing what I do now. So I just, really would love people to see that it is a viable career option and that there is just more to dairy than what people think. Like, and there's just multiple pathways and just ways that you can get into it, I suppose. So that was my drive and my mission. I'm like, I'm happy to be an ambassador, because if you share what you love, then it's contagious and people are engaged and they become interested. So that was my main drive.
Absolutely. And I love that you, almost share how you didn't know anything about dairy, and now 13 years later, you're an expert. Like, you can continue that cycle on, and who knows what conversation you might have that will lead someone else to being, 13 years down the track, their own expert.
Exactly. I did do some work with AgriFutures Australia, like working with them, which was through the ambassador program, organised that way, and sharing my story as a female entering the dairy industry as like a novice farmer, not having grown up wanting to be a dairy farmer or having had no experience. So that was a really exciting opportunity that I got given through the ambassador program. And I think if I can do it, anyone can do it. So just give people that confidence.
So touch on that. What have you done, through the ambassador program? What, have you been able to, be called upon to speak on podcasts, obviously, but have you, are you in ads? Do you go on radio? Are you an Insta famer influence now? What does that actually mean once you've finished it and become an ambassador?
I'd love to be Insta influencer, but I'm very far from that. So my strength is not social media. So I like to help Jess or DA in other ways in the program. So I've had multiple opportunities, and I very rarely say no to an opportunity. The only thing that holds me back is if I don't get a message in time, which has happened once before, or if I've already got an existing appointment. I just think, you never know. By saying no to an opportunity, you close many doors, but if you say yes, then many more doors open. So that's why I do say yes to everything that I can. So I've done TV commercials with Brownie, so we've helped with 2 of those, and then we've done some work. And when I say we, it's like me and my family as well. So our kids have been involved too, which has been really exciting for them. So with the We Are Here For You campaign, back in COVID, I got the kids, instead of doing art for their school lesson that day, they did posters with We Are Here For You and put flowers all over them and what have you, and stood out in the paddock and took some videos and things and just sent them straight through, and we got to feature in that, which was really good. And so we also did a few videos for Discover Dairy. So I submitted a lot of the footage on farm. So my daughter and I, she was in grade 4 at the time, we filmed a lot of the process, so milking, from getting the cows out of the paddock all the way through to the end of milking, and then to the point of the truck coming up. So I waited up till 11 o'clock that night. I rang our milk company to find out when we were getting picked up. So I waited at the dairy for the truck to come, and we filmed how that got taken out of the vat, and then we filmed the calf feeding, everything to do with farming. And my daughter, she explained everything so that it was more relatable for kids. So Jenny at DA put all that together and put a really nice little film, which was fantastic. From the commercials that we did, the TV commercials, I got to do a voiceover with Nova 100 in Melbourne, because it was still COVID at that time. Around COVID, we couldn't actually go to the studio, so I got to do it all in my bedroom, wrapped under blankets. So I learned how all of that works. Actually, it was really quite interesting because it had to be no noise and it had to sound like I was in the studio. So I got to do that, and it sounded picture clear, they said, so it was perfect. I got to do the work with AgriFutures Australia, which I was just explaining for promoting women in the industry, and how I got to that point and why I'm still in dairying now. I done some panel discussions. Like I did one with Jess for another group of ambassadors, so explaining what I have done and how the program has helped me, and why it's so great that we all can be involved. And I've used my nursing experience as well just recently in the city for a program for nutritionists, and put my spin on like environmental, like how we use things on our farm to recycle, and so how we're a sustainable business. But then I was able to bring my nursing experience into that because we were talking to like people that work in the medical profession, like the welfare of our animals and how we use antibiotics responsibly. So I was able to bring like my existing experience and marry it into my my dairying experience. And there's been countless opportunities. So the list I feel just goes on, but I just love it. And every opportunity I take, and it's been one of the best things I think that I've done in dairy. So thank you to DA for that.
Yeah, I think I probably also share that inability to say no, but you never actually know where it's going to lead. So Jess, I'm intrigued by, like, there's a whole range of different opportunities that Dairy Australia need ambassadors for. How do you pick the right person for the right task, essentially?
Yeah, it's a great question, and it's something we wanted to try and keep the program as agile and close-knit as we can, so that I and we can really get to know each other, so that I do know who to go to. And, so we, at the beginning of the program, send around a little profile survey so that at a very base level, you can tick some boxes and I can know a little bit about you. But when we do the skills forum in Melbourne or hold any events, we have nice dinners together and get to know each other on a deeper level, so that I know Joe Bloggs plays footy at the local club. And so if we're looking for a sports nutrition link, I can tap on that shoulder. Or if, it's often we need a farmer from New South Wales who's only an hour out of Sydney who can speak to environmental care really well. So those kind of things we kind of pinpoint, and that's how we know who to tap on the shoulder.
Mm. Trish, is there an opportunity that hasn't come up yet that you're hoping for, that that you're like, I really would love to be in a position where I can talk to this audience or chat with this person or impact this audience here?
I think, I've just thought of another experience that I had actually. Like Gibbs Dairy, because we farm in West Gippsland, like they know that I'm part of this ambassador program. So they too, if they do require some support or assistance with one of us, then they can also reach out to us too. So the girls at Gibbs Dairy know that I've done this. And so there was an opportunity where I got to be on a panel for some secondary school students and to share like what I have learned in dairy, and then, why it's so great to join the industry and what have you. So I feel like from like doing voiceovers and working with people in media and the TV commercials to then working with school kids. Because I've also supported the CARES Create Careers program with the local school, so I can go on there and be a judge and comment on their stuff and whatever. To all the way through to, talking to ambassadors and other farmers to, I actually don't feel like there's much that I probably really haven't covered. And, I've loved all of it, and there's not anything I'm aspiring to do, or, I just think whatever comes my way, if I can do it, then I'm there.
And I think that's probably what Jess is looking for, someone that is willing to have a go, but also to, have a broad range of skills to be able to talk to those different audiences. So I'm interested by the impact that this ambassador program has then had for your community. Have you been able to have those tricky conversations around animal welfare or sustainability have you been able to convince any young people that they should get into dairy? Like how do you see the impacts of this program?
I think the impact has been nothing but positive in my perspective, because what the ambassador program teaches you is it gives you additional skills and knowledge in how to deal with questions and inquiries about the industry as well. So if there's something like because I did most of the program online, I did miss one of the skills, the skill blocks and teachings, and it was about values. And one thing that teaches you is that, to actually talk to someone and help them understand, like, and get an answer to a question, like, you need to connect with them in a value sense. So using like that tool that I've learned from like that skills forum, like I feel like any question that you do get given, like from the general public or in the local community, like you can really understand and empathize and see like where they're coming from and why they might be wanting to know this. And then I just feel like I've been given the tools to answer some curlier questions a bit better. And I feel like it's equipped me to be more confident to speak in front of an audience, which not every opportunity involves speaking, like public speaking, because we know how much some people don't like doing that. But I feel like it equips you to be more prepared to deal with more just everybody. So with the impact, I think in a sense of promoting how good that it is to work in the industry, like, and for us, like in our business, our people are one of our biggest assets. So our employees are one of the biggest and most important part of our business, because we do milk quite a few cows. And I feel like investing in them, because of what I've learned from this program, sort of has had this really positive effect where, they love where they work and what they do, and then they share that love with other people, and then they become interested, what's this business about, or what are they doing? So then we have people coming to us who are wanting to work for us. Like at the moment, there's someone in New Zealand that's wanting us to have them go and work for us, and then we've got a lot of junior kids who are also coming through and approaching us wanting some work as well.
Yeah, I love, and as Jess said, if it's an authentic story and you're sharing your love, people are going to resonate that with, so much more than just someone from Dairy Australia who may also share that love, but doesn't, may not be seen as passionate. So Jess, do you want to touch on how do you make sure that people are comfortable within their own skill sets and their expertise? So, we don't want to scare people off. Like, how do you make sure that it's not a scary process?
No, well, thank you for asking this question. It's something we need to get clear on. I'm not here to, we are not here to throw people in the deep end and make them feel uncomfortable. We like to work within people's comfort levels, and as Trish said, social media is not her thing, but other people may already have an existing audience on social media or want to expand that. So we're here to give them the tools to be able to do that. On the other end of the scale, if you are the person in your community that all the journalists come to because they need a farmer perspective, and you just need a little bit more fine-tuning in the media landscape and how to answer tricky questions that are thrown at you, we've got that kind of skills training for you as well. So it really is whatever you put into the program, you get out of it, and we try to tailor it around your comfort levels and what you're happy to be involved in.
So how much time is involved? Like, maybe, Trish, do you want to touch on how much commitment has been doing the program initially, but also then externally? Like, do you get a phone call once a week to be like, can you come and just film this? And can you just do that? And, are you spending more time promoting dairy than actually being in dairy?
I don't feel like I am. Like even because I was part of the pilot program that was working during COVID, so they were just like, hour sessions here and there over a space of 4 or 5 weeks. Whereas now I understand just how the cohort comes together initially, and they have like a session in Melbourne I'm not sure for how long, but Jess can explain all that. Yeah, so it is a bit structured, a bit different, but I think the investment in those 3 days, if you can make that work, definitely, like afterwards, it's really what Jess says, like if you're available to do it and you're willing and you want to, but then go for it. But if you're uncomfortable, then you don't have to either, and Jess will be able to find someone else that could suit that role. But with the TV commercials, they were quite a bit of work, but we understood that would be the case beforehand. So we committed to doing that, knowing what we had to be prepared for. And if I didn't have that time to do that, then I really would have said no. But they were the biggest time taker. Like the voiceover, for example, only took like not even half an hour. And like the dinner, I got fed and I got to talk to other people who were keen on farming. So like, I don't feel like this is really taking a lot of my time, and I don't feel like it's work. I just feel like it's an extra something to do and another opportunity to meet other people or like-minded people who hopefully love the industry as much as what I do. So to me, it hasn't been a huge investment in time, and I don't even think I could count on one hand like how much I've had to do, or been asked to do, I shouldn't say had to do, in 1 year. Like it's not all of the time that Jess is calling us or me asking to do something. So yeah, I actually get excited if I see that she's calling me, because I'm like, oh, she would like me to do something.
Trish, I just love to chat, really. That's why we ask you to do so much. So maybe, Jess, do you want to touch on, Trish mentioned that the structure has changed slightly since the COVID year, and, obviously the more times you do it, the better the program gets. Do you want to touch on how it's structured and, what is that time commitment initially?
Yeah, for sure. And as you say, we are in our 4th year, but still, probably 5th year, still evolving and improving and adapting as we can. So our next intake of farmers kicks off in March this year, and it's a bit of a hybrid situation. So we do 3 90-minute online sessions that are a good way to get to know the other farmers in the group, and then hear about the program and what it entails and the different opportunities that can be presented, and the skills that you might be interested in and those topics that you might want to engage in. And then we do have the Skills Forum, which is a 3-day forum in Melbourne at the DA offices, and that is optional. You can come for the whole thing or just come for the sessions that you like. But we've only ever had people come for the whole thing because we do try and make it a bit of fun as well. It's just a great opportunity to meet other like-minded farmers in person, and we have really helpful facilitators and topics and sessions that try and support the areas that you want to grow in. So yeah, that's fun. I guess the 3 online sessions and then the 3-day optional forum as well. So that's the kind of time frame of building your skills. And then, as I say, whenever I find an opportunity that suits a farmer, I'll shoulder tap, and if that suits, they will say yes. If not, we'll find someone else that is available.
Hey. Jess, I'm intrigued by the sort of dairy farmers that you're targeting. How do you encourage the right people to take this ambassador program on? Do you have, is there a set amount of farmers that you can only let in? Like if you've got 50 applications, do you take 50 for the intake? If you've only got 10, do you only run it as 10? How does that work?
If I had 50 applications, I would take them on every year, but that has not been the case so far. Historically, we've asked regions to nominate farmers that they think this would be a good fit for in their area, and last year was the first year we opened it up to the farmers that had gone through the program to sort of suggest other farmers that they knew that it might be helpful for. But now, we're really just interested in hearing from all farmers with a passion for this great industry. they might already be doing things in industry promotion, like hosting school tours or like on farm, or holding dairy experiences at and engaging the public at ag shows. Or they might be that person I spoke about who the reporter always comes to tap on their shoulder that just want to fine-tune their skills. So anyone that's passionate about promoting the industry, we want to hear from. And yes, we will do our very best to accommodate everyone. Possibly 50 might be too much for one intake. So if I'm not saying that is, but budget-wise, we might have to spread that out over 2 years and come back to the person that's the second year, but that's not yet happened. So, we would like to hear from anyone who's keen to promote the industry, basically.
And so give us all the details. When does it happen? How do we do that? Like, can I just email you? I'm sure someone's going to put it in the show notes to be like, I want to do this. How do I do this? Give me all the details.
Yes, I hope so. I am actually about to head off on parental leave. Otherwise, you would be emailing me. But for those interested or know farmers who would be interested and this would appeal to, please email my wonderful colleague, Steph. Stephanie Tarlington will be covering my role while I'm away. And she grew up on a dairy farm just out of Cobargo in the Bega Valley. And so far more knowledge about dairy farming than I do. And I'd just actually like to say that I am not the person that is standing in front of crowds of people and talking, as you can probably hear from the quiver in my voice. I really don't like speaking, but I'm here to support those farmers that do, and I can relate to those who just need a little push in the right direction to get out of their comfort zone and speak to people. Anyway, back to the contacting Steph. Please contact Steph via email at stephanie.tarlinton, TARLINTON, at dairyaustralia.com. And as you say, it will be in the show notes.
And so intake for March, is that the plan this year?
So she will be reaching out probably February to those who have contacted her for the March 90 minutes online sessions. And then from there, we'll organise the skills forum, which happens in May.
Wonderful. Well, I'm really fascinated, Trish. Why should someone do the course? Like, what has the Ambassador Program taught you, and what advice would you give to others that, who might just need a little bit of a push in the right direction?
I think that everybody should do it. I just think that if you are already doing like what you do, like if you love the industry and you already are sharing that love, then this is a way that you can be further supported to do that. Plus the additional learnings that you get, like in the skills forums and the workshops that you do, I think you will constantly carry with you all of the time, like, because I feel like that's what I do, and that it helps give you your own self-awareness as well. So if you're the kind of person that does love the industry and is already sharing that love, then this is an opportunity to invest in yourself and invest in the industry as well. Because as I was just saying before, like, I feel like, the love that you share then gets shared by others, and then we can, destigmatize and make the industry a more positive industry to be in. And positivity breeds positivity.
I love it. I think that's a wonderful way to sort of wrap up the episode. Thank you both for being ambassadors for the dairy industry. Jess, even if you say, you quiver at public speaking, I think you're doing a wonderful job behind the scenes. And Trish, I can't wait to see what you do next. Add to your list of, accomplishments. But even just in your community, every conversation matters. So thank you both for coming on and sharing your stories. Thank you, Jess, for all of the work, and good luck on your parental leave. I can't wait to see what the next ambassador cohort look like.
Thank you so much, Chloe, and thank you for coming in and sharing your podcast expertise with us and hosting us. It was really great to meet you, and as always, lovely to see you, Trish, and thank you for sharing your experiences.
It's my pleasure, Jess, and thank you so much for having me too, Chloe. I look forward to hearing more of your episodes coming forward too.
If you or someone you know would like to find out more about being a Dairy Farm Ambassador in 2024, you can email Stephanie Tarleton. We have placed Stephanie's email address and other useful links in the episode notes. We hope that you have enjoyed listening to DairyPod. If you have any questions or ideas for future episodes, you can get in contact by emailing dairypod@dairyaustralia.com.au. Thank you for listening, and bye for now.